What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaijin Okami from the Toku Animation News Network here at Ranger Stop 2025. I'm in conversation with
Rob Paulsen.
Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. Welcome, Rob. Is this your first Ranger Stop?
No, I believe it's my second Ranger Stop.
Second?
Yes.
Were you here last year?
I was at one in Atlanta last year. So I'm a two-time Ranger Stop.
You seem like you are enjoying yourself.
You know, it's impossible not to. Those of us who are so fortunate to make a living doing essentially the guys in front of the hustle, we understand how truly fortunate we are to be at events like this. And I don't think there's ever any event I attend that I don't have a good time. And by that I mean, even if it's not well run, this is very well run, by the way. Even if it's not well run, the amenities, blah, 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 the food, that's not why I'm here. I'm here for you guys, writ large, because you have all been there for me. I got nothing. I could have a script written by Jesus and $30 million is someone else's money. And if you guys don't watch, it's a tax write. So, yeah, I have a great time.
For people,
it's great.
For people who might not know what you've done, what are some of your biggest roles?
Well, I'm Yakko Warner in the Animaniacs. I'm looking at your beautiful wife. Hello there. I'm Pinky. I'm really the genius of the show. Gray knows nothing. Nark. I'm Pinky. I'm not one, but two Ninja Turtles. Raphael before you guys were born, pretty much. And I got to be Donatello on the Nickelodeon version. And got to say things like butt cannons. It has butt cannons. So, oh, and then people really like Carl Weezer. I don't know why, but Carl has become like a meme machine. And stay away from Jimmy's mom.
Now, before you got into acting, you originally wanted to be a hockey player, is that correct?
I did, but I got as far as college and I learned that I had neither the talent, temperament, nor dental insurance to make a nickel as a hockey player. I still go out and skate and bang around with my buddies, have a great time. But fortunately, I had something really responsible on which to fall, acting. So once I realized I couldn't be a hockey player, I thought, I know, I'll be an actor. Not an accountant, not a doctor, not a businessman, an actor. Somehow I fooled Hollywood now for 47 years, so I've been very fortunate.
And what was your very first role?
My very first animated role was Snow Job on G.I. Joe. And then I also did a character called Tripwire on G.I. Joe, both of which have their own action figures, I believe. Also, I did a couple of aerial bots on the original Transformers named Slingshot and Air Raid. And I've invented my own Transformer, only I'm Slipshod the Inepticon. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting though, you got to do G.I. Joe who revolves around ice, which works with your wanting to be a hockey player.
That, folks, is a very slick segue. Beautifully done.
And what landed you the role for Raphael?
Just a general audition. Townsend Coleman and I were working on an animated version of Fraggle Rock. And the director of that show brought a Ninja Turtle script to work one day and said, I'm auditioning you guys for this next week. With a bunch of other actors. It was, you know, most auditions for brand new shows have a lot of auditions. Read for it. I'm kind of a smart ass in real life, and turns out Raphael is too, so I got the gig.
And there were actually a few episodes you did not voice Raphael.
Right.
Were there any specific reasons for that?
Yeah, there were some, as they say, creative differences, but what it was generally about was that the producer Ninja Turtles at the time was actually had been hired on another show produced by the same production company. And to make a convoluted story short, because I'd already committed to the one show that I'd just gotten, couldn't make it to the Turtles. They said, you know, we can get somebody else. I said, okay, fair enough. No more, that was years ago. Stuff happens at showbiz, as they say. But man, I got to be a part of, I don't know, 160 of them or something, so I no complaints.
And you also were essentially what launched the Got Milk campaign.
Well, I was part of it, sure. I was in this excellent commercial with my friend, my friend, I remember. But nonetheless, we did a commercial in which there was a gentleman who's sitting in a museum as the night person, and he's listening to the radio, and my voice appears, and I say, and now, for $10,000, who killed Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? Good luck. And Sean Whalen, that's his name. Sean is the guy on camera who calls up, hello, for $10,000, and mind you, he's sitting in the museum looking at a picture, looking at the bullet fired by Aaron Burr, killed Alexander Hamilton. So he knew the answer, but he'd been eating a peanut butter sandwich. And he says, Aaron Burr. I'm sorry, Aaron Burr. Oh, hang on a second. And he sees milk, got a milk carton, his peanut butter sandwich. He turns it up. Aaron Burr. I'm sorry. Better luck next time. And then he looks at the camera, and Sean does it beautifully. He says, and you hear milk. That was the first commercial.
So that was the very first
and
one.
It was shot, directed by Michael Bay. So there you go.
Well, and then you came back in the 2000s for a new adaptation of Ninja Turtles.
I did. I got to
What
be Downey.
was that like?
Oh man. Well, I don't think there are any other folks in Turtledom who have done two Turtles. So I'm quite proud of that. It was an audition like any other. It was a little bit different because, of course, I had been Raphael 20 years before, 25 years before. And my agent said, hey, you know, Nickelodeon, Viacom, who owns Nickelodeon, has the rights to Ninja Turtles now, and they're doing a new TV version. The producers would love to have you come read for Donatello. So I don't mind reading for that, but do they know who I am? Not out of arrogance, because I just didn't want to get in there and have them say, oh shit, you're right, well, he's here, let him audition. She said, no, they know exactly who you are. They just thought you might be right for their vision of Donatello. So I read, and I got the job. And I learned very quickly that my age in my business, where only my voice is present, is none of my business. It's only the business of the people who hire me. So that's pretty cool. Also, as a full disclosure, I made sure that the original Donatello, my brother Barry Gordon, I made sure he was not involved. They hadn't talked to him, and since he wasn't part of the equation, then I thought I could legitimately read for it and got the job. I would never, nor would any of my brothers snake a job from out either one of us. It's always about, are you sure you're okay with this? Sure. Off we go. So there really is a deep bond between all the Ninja Turtles.
And did you find it difficult to have to do Donatello this time around compared to Raphael, or did you approach it differently?
Well, I didn't approach it any differently. I'm an actor, and I'm always learning. But the biggest compliment I could receive from doing Donatello after having been Raphael for a whole generation was people will say, gosh, I read that you were coming back as Donatello. I don't know if I could handle you being all right. But when people said, oh man, I know it was you, and I could tell it was you, but Donatello is completely different. And then that means I did my job. I'm certainly not comparing myself, but with on-camera talent, we love Jack Nicholson because he's Jack Nicholson. He has he's a movie star, but he's different in The Postman Always Rings Twice, and Chinatown, and Batman, and The Shining. He's different because he's a great actor. I'm a good actor. And if I'm doing my job right, even if I raise my voice a little bit and I say, oh my gosh, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, or I love you, April, my voice is a little higher, but Donatello is considerably different than Raphael. So no, it was not difficult. It was a huge amount of fun.
And do you have a voice that you are the most proud of?
The next one means I'm working. Honestly, well, as you can imagine, they're like they say, which child? Being the original on something like Ninja Turtles that is pretty difficult to compare to anything, except maybe Looney Tunes. But Looney Tunes, while they're still making new ones, the original guys are still alive and doing conventions, and to see how this show has gone from four of us and Renee Jacobs and Pete Renaday, who's Master Splinter, to this. 40 years this show's been going. And you can tell by here, ain't nobody thinks it's slowing down. No, it's incredible. That alone is a career maker for most actors. I love Pinky because I get to work with my friend the Brain, but Yakko is probably the closest to my heart in terms of what I love, because I get to sing, I get to be funny, hopefully, and I get to do all these patter songs like, I am the very model of a cartoon individual. My animation's comical, unusual, and whimsical. It's a rip-off from the Pirates of Penzance, but then I also get to sing original stuff like United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, and that little cartoon has become a seminal piece of American culture.
Oh, I've used it in my classroom before.
Isn't that something? It is amazing. And it was the first song I sung for Animaniacs, so the bar from the get-go was really high. But when you have Steven Spielberg, and Tom Ruger, and Gene McCurdy, who was the president of Warner Brothers Animation at that time, all their geniuses sort of conspired to make great television. I can go back and watch Animaniacs now and be more objective. It's really good. It just is. You get the best of everything when you work with Mr. Spielberg. So you got to work to screw it up, and we didn't. I'm very proud of it.
What do you like to do outside of working?
Get more work. I am a big sports car nut. I have one great car at a time. I get to go blasting through all the groovy roads and Santa Monica Mountains and out in the desert. I love charity work. I love conventions. I truly can't get enough of these events. The kindness of so many people of multiple generations to come, drive, fly, spend a lot of money to get here, just to tell us how much X meant to them. And often we get a lot of folks on the autism spectrum, many of whom can't buy a Slurpee on their own. But here, they are completely accepted, they are completely protected, they're honored, and it's just the best. And so if you see a young man or woman who's really struggling with a cacophonous nature of what, they might have headphones on, they're really struggling, and then they'll walk up because they love it, Yakko. And oh, yes! And all of a sudden they stop stimming, and they just zero in on the character, all of us. This is where I have trouble trying to make sense of it. It is so profoundly powerful to me and to the parents of these kids who might be 30. But for 10 minutes, nobody's looking sideways at their daughter. It's beautiful. And to be even a small part of that, that's really where I get my joy. I was a golf nut for decades, loved the game, I got pretty good at it. I don't really care so much anymore because I do this a lot. And this is really truly where I'm in the happy business, and I just love it.
What social media links can people find you at?
I'm Rob_Paulsen, Paulsen, on Instagram. Rob Paulsen, voice actor, on Facebook. Rob Paulsen 311 on TikTok. And what's the other one? I guess that's it, right? My website is robpaulsenvoice.com. And if you're not already sick of hearing about Rob Paulsen, you can get sicker by going to the website.
Any final words for our viewers?
Yes. Anytime you leave the room, don't let the dart hit you or the good Lord split you. Good night, everybody! And Larf.
Final question, if you had one song to describe yourself, what would it be?
Oh, God. Mr. Lucky. How about that?
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Until next time, bye.
Bye.